Chapter 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The ancient city of Jojo is a place of prosperity, and the ancient city of Jojo is a place of prosperity. The immortal mountains are far away, and the great road is hard to find. The land of Jojo is the holy land of the human race, and all the major sects of the righteous path are entrenched here. As the blessing of the land of Jojo, the Lingyu mountains are full of spiritual energy in the thousands of mountains, and there are many grasses, stones and trees that have cultivated into spirits. Such a mountain range with thousands of spiritual mountains, of course, is occupied by the top sections. Tianxian Holy Land, as one of the 10 holy places of the human race, when the ancestor founded the sect, in order to make the sect famous, he once used a sword to chill the 9 states and kill all the demons. In order to reward the contribution of the Tianxian ancestor, the human emperor at that time specially gave him this Lingyu mountains as a blessing for the creation of the sect. There is no time for cultivating immortals. The former holy dynasties and powerful sects have all become fragments of history. With the erosion of time, they have long disappeared. However, Tianxian Holy Land can stand firm and even has the title of the top 10 holy lands, which shows the value of its successive masters. It is not an exaggeration to say that there are golden elixirs everywhere and yuanying as many as dogs in the sect. Among the thousands of mountains and ridges, rare and exotic animals are constantly flying in the sky, including cranes, birds with phoenix blood, and dragons with real dragon blood, wandering among the clouds. The fairyland is nothing more than this. It is such a powerful holy land, but today a major event that shocked the sect happened. Mo Yuxiang, the beautiful saint who is known as the strongest person in the north, is going to hold a sect meeting. Not only did she call all the inner sect elders, but even the supreme elders were invited by her. The last sect meeting with such a big commotion was when the Holy Sun was appointed. For a time, everyone in the Holy Land was in a panic, fearing that something threatening the sect would happen. In fact, the theme of this meeting was to abolish the Holy Sun of the sect she personally appointed. You know, as the Holy Sun of Tianxian Holy Land, he is the best of his peers. After all, it takes more than just hard work to stand out from so many geniuses and evildoers and become a Holy Sun. Constitution, talent, character, luck, and cultivation are all indispensable. Now the Holy Sun who was selected with so much effort is going to be abolished again, which is simply ridiculous. The elders who knew some inside information were almost shocked, but the Holy Lord had an order, so they had no time to worry too much and went directly to the main peak. The main peak of Tianxian Holy Land is located in the center of Qianshan, surrounded by mountains. The towering mountains pierce the sky, and the hall is wrapped in auspicious clouds, just like the Lingshao Palace. Above the 9 heavens, swish, 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 accompanied by the sound of breaking through the air, the elders with extremely high cultivation are rushing to the main peak. Under normal circumstances, the main peak cannot fly, but today is different. The Tianxian ancient bell rang 9 times in a row. 10 rings would mean the extinction of the sect, so the no-fly order was lifted, and the elders all entered the main hall as quickly as possible. 15 years. 15 years. Do you know how I spent these 15 years? Do you know? Qiansheng Peak, as the Holy Sun Peak, is on the other side of the main peak. Whether it is the height of the mountain or the magnificence of the Holy Sun Hall, it is second only to the Holy Lord Peak. As the Holy Sun, it is basically certain that he will be the next Holy Lord, and this treatment is also different. On a cliff at the top of the peak, a young man was roaring at the mountain. The sound was so loud that it scared away several cranes that were about to do something shameful. The boy's name was Zixiao. Just listen to this name. No matter which storybook it is in, he is either a villain or a senior brother. He didn't have any of the surnames of the 4 major families, Yi, Lin, Shao, Shi, and Son of Destiny. As for the surname Tang, forget about the blue and silver entanglement. That's not a Son of Destiny. Zixiao was wearing a purple saint's robe, silver decorations, black hand guards, and a standing collar and open chest. Coupled with his slender and strong figure, he was just like a banished immortal. Looking at his face again, he had sword eyebrows and starry eyes, and he was born with the aura of a king who dominated the world. His long lavender hair was tied up by a silver crown. He was handsome and his facial features seemed to be carved out of marble. The sharp lines and sharp and deep eyes unconsciously gave people a sense of oppression, but this boy who was like a banished immortal was cursing at the cliff at this time. No one knows that he is a time traveler. He was familiar with novels in his previous life, so he certainly understood the value of time travel. Since he was picked up by his master, the Holy Lord of Tianxian Holy Land, 15 years ago, he has awakened the system, and he has the novice given by the system. The gift package is simply a great start. His physique, talent, will, and charm were all filled up by the novice gift package. Even if he looked at the whole world, he could be among the best among the geniuses. He was only 18 years old, but he had already secured the position of the Son of God. However, he had not left the house since 5 years ago, and he was just like a homebody. There was no other reason. System, open the panel. Accompanied by Zixiao's whisper, a transparent light screen appeared in front of him. Host, Zixiao, age, 18 years old, cultivation, early stage of spirit division. The realm is divided into qi refining, foundation building, golden elixir, nascent soul, spirit division, combination, Mahayana, tribulation, saint, supreme, emperor. Physique, original heavenly demon body, ancient double pupil, kung fu, burial heaven skill, 8 desolations magic skill, Tianxian magic, Hunyuan Wuji holy skill, eye of insight, martial arts, great power heavenly dragon, burial heaven finger, heavenly tribulation light, blood battle in 8 desolations, double pupil armor, Lingxiao sword skill, prison killing sword, thunder palm, etc. Magic weapon, black sword knight, hidden information, villain system. The villain system aspires to build the host to become the only villain in the 8 desolations, 9 provinces in 10 lands, bury the sky, bury the earth, bury all living beings, refine the entire world, and ascend on the spot. Villain, villain. Zixiao smiled bitterly with no desire to live. Zixiao, who was an orphan in his previous life, enjoyed the feeling of having a backer and being cared for after being picked up by his master Mo Yuxiang. From that moment on, he was determined to be a good disciple who was loyal and righteous. After becoming the Son of God, his identity automatically became the eldest brother of the younger generation. It was fine to teach and guide his younger brothers and sisters, and brush up his reputation. At the beginning, the system said that it was called the sign-in system. Whether it was physique or skills, they were all obtained by signing in for so many years. If nothing unexpected happens, he will inherit the position of the Holy Lord of Tianxian Holy Land in the future, gain the support of a large number of fans, marry his master, marry a woman, suppress the 9 states and 8 wastelands with one hand, and reach the peak of his life. Who would have thought that 5 years ago, after the Son of Destiny Lin Yi paid homage to the Mountain Gate, everything changed? After Lin Yi became his junior brother, the system gave him a reward for free for the first time. The name of the reward is the Eye of Insight. The Eye of Insight, as the name suggests, can see a person's qualifications, potential, opportunities and everything else, almost revealing his underwear. Zixiao looked at his junior brother with the Eye of Insight out of curiosity. It didn't matter that he looked at it. The golden light almost blinded him. Son of Destiny, destiny, good fortune and longevity, born supreme, parents are both kings. The pile of golden entries made Zixiao stunned. Chapter 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man was born in a dream, but he was still alive, child of destiny. Isn't this kind of golden entry a must-have for time travelers? If I'm not the child of destiny, how could I have traveled through time? How could I become the eldest brother of the sect? With such doubts, Zixiao wanted to ask the system what was going on with Lin Yi. You know, the sign-in system had vowed that he was the child of destiny in this world. As a result, the real child of destiny is now dancing in his face. Those 4 big characters were like a slap in the face of the system. Where is the child of destiny? Where is my big child of destiny entry? When he asked about the system, Zixiao suddenly found that the name of the sign-in system had a line of small words under it at some point. Hidden information, villain system. Villain. Damn, I'm really a villain. Zixiao almost crashed his head into the hall after knowing this fact. His master and a group of sisters looked at him with concern. After finding a reason to leave in a hurry, Zixiao began to fight with the system in his mind. Tell me, what is a villain? It's a villain. I asked you to tell me, what? What is a villain? Is a villain a villain? Okay, you're going to play it like this, right? Who told me that I was the son of destiny, and that my future would be an emperor who could suppress the 9 heavens and 10 earths with one hand? I'm not wrong. If you become a villain, you can truly suppress the 9 heavens and 10 earths. I won't do it. Whoever wants to do it can do it. What villain? If I become a villain, what will happen to my master? What will happen to my junior sisters? No, anyway, don't be a villain. There's no way, the system has been bound, and you use the eye of insight to see the opportunities of your fellow disciples. Aren't you tempted? Why should I be tempted? Do you understand the value of the Son of God? I'm lying in bed and someone is feeding me resources. Why should I play with my life? But what about your master? What about your junior sisters? In the plot, they may become the heroines of destiny. Tell me, how to kill the son of destiny. Ruzi is teachable, not just like that. In the battle between Zixiao and the system, Zixiao was defeated, and succeeded because of beauty, no, because of the justice of the world. Definitely defeated the son of destiny. Don't underestimate the value of readers. As long as you are a time traveler, who hasn't read novels, especially those cool novels, Dragon King and the like, and even novels about villains, readers who travel through any of them are probably the masterminds who suppress the 9 heavens and 10 earths, or they can directly transform into ancestors and do whatever they want. Moreover, the villain novels have introduced the son of destiny in a grand manner. He is arrogant, selfish, and willing to kill people's families at will, but he is protected by destiny. Zixiao has no psychological burden to attack such a person, as he came into contact with the son of destiny, that is, his junior brother Lin Yi. Zixiao found that the descriptions in the villain novels were completely wrong. After all, those villain novels are just wearing the skin of villains, trampling some of the real sons of destiny into worthlessness, and their character is even worse, but his own junior brother is a completely righteous existence. Not to mention the trivial matter of caring for his fellow disciples. No matter what kind of crisis he faces, he will be the first to stand in front of everyone. His talent is even more terrifying. Those who can't kill him will only make him stronger. This sentence is not wrong at all. But it is easy to attract hatred. If you just visit an auction house casually, a group of children from the sect family will come to find trouble. If you teach the second generation of the sect a lesson, you will be immediately sent to hunt him down. Even though he is the direct disciple of the Tianxian Saint Lord, the older generation cannot participate in the battles of the younger generation. This is a rule since ancient times, so Lin Yi constantly breaks through his limits under repeated pursuits. Every time he returns to the sect, he will come to pay his respects to his eldest brother. As time goes by, Zixiao still did not take action against this junior brother. The reason is that in Lin Yi, Zixiao saw himself in his previous life. Because fate is unfair, he directly confronted the capital in his previous life, and the end was of course death. Thinking of this son of destiny, who is like a star of destiny, and who is annihilated wherever he goes, Zixiao thought of his own sect, and then wanted to confront Lin Yi, and regardless of the system's dissuasion, he planned to protect the growth of his junior brother. The fate villain and the son of destiny joined forces, which can be said to be extremely powerful. But every time Zixiao wanted to tell Lin Yi the truth, he would always be stopped by an inexplicable force. Even if he wanted to write down his thoughts on paper, he couldn't do it. Lin Yi was also very curious at the time, why his senior brother just stared blankly and didn't say anything when he saw him. Only Zixiao knew the bitterness. System, tell me, why can't I join forces with the son of destiny? Is it you who is playing tricks? You are wronging me on this point. I am just a system and cannot interfere with anything the host wants to do, but it can. You said the way of heaven. What if I break the shackles by force? The 8 wastelands, 9 heavens and 10 earths are a scorched earth. Faced with the system's answer, Zixiao was silent. He didn't want his sect to fall into crisis, and he didn't want those junior brothers and sisters who followed him and called him Big Brother to be hurt, especially his master. For so many years, his master has suffered too much. It's not so easy to do the 10 holy places, especially the Tianxian Holy Land. which is a holy place that has survived from ancient times. Of course, there are foundations, but those foundations will not come out until the day of extinction. This is also the reason why Zixiao wants to grow up quickly, and even joins hands with the Son of Destiny, but the result tells him that all this can't be reversed at all. It's just a pitfall. After knowing these truths, Zixiao began to lock himself up in the Holy Sun Hall, and even tried not to see his beloved master, just like a salted fish that has been left to rot, but the way of heaven is really too weird. Obviously, he, the eldest brother, the glorious son of the sect, did nothing, but the dirty water on his body is getting more and more every day. The son of the saint ordered his men to break the legs of his junior brother. The holy son forcibly abducted the junior sister into the room and used her as a furnace. The holy son used his power to oppress others, disregarded the friendship of fellow disciples, and exploited the resources of his junior brothers and sisters. The holy son used his power to force the female elder who already had a Taoist partner to do something unspeakable. The holy son was practicing magic in the room. He planned to swallow the sky and the earth when he succeeded. The most ridiculous thing is that these dirty waters can actually be traced, and there are always misunderstandings of one kind or another, which make people catch them on the spot, or misunderstand them. For example, Zixiao just said to his attendant that the junior brother had a small opportunity recently. Remember to let him practice well and not disappoint the expectations of the sect. Chapter 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The servant understood that Zixiao had seen the opportunity of the other party and immediately suppressed the disciple completely, asking him to hand over the resources, etc. Even if Zixiao explained the misunderstanding, his junior brothers and sisters, and even his master, thought that Zixiao just didn't want his reputation to be ruined. Over time, the Holy Son completely became a taboo figure among fellow disciples. Mentioning the word Holy Son, everyone was terrified. Faced with such a situation, Zixiao was also powerless. Should he explain? Everyone's misunderstanding of him was already deeply rooted. There was no room for explanation at all. Just let it go. The dirty water was getting more and more thrown, and he had no choice but to find his master. But when he saw the expression in Mo Yuxiang's beautiful eyes, for the first time, Zixiao felt despair. Damn heaven! Boom! Just as Zixiao roared to the sky, a thunderous sound rang out in the sky. The thunder was like the roar of an ancient giant hand. Even a cultivator was insignificant in front of it. Host, I have an immature suggestion, but I don't know whether I should say it or not. Since it's immature, I won't say it. System, unbind. Host, have you decided? Zixiao sighed, looking at the fairyland-like scene in the distance, feeling a little melancholy. Today, the Tianxian ancient bell was struck 9 times. When he was named the Son of God, it was also struck 9 times. How ironic, if I'm not mistaken. Today they must decide to remove him from the position of the Son of God. I don't know the reason, but there's no need to know, because he himself couldn't count the so-called sins on him. As early as a month ago, his master Mo Yuxiang had already refused his greetings. Walking in the sect, Zixiao can also feel the fear and hatred in the eyes of those sect disciples. Why bother? Zixiao smiled bitterly. It was really embarrassing for the army of time travelers. This villain didn't look like a villain, and the righteous didn't look like a righteous. It seemed a bit too cowardly. Host, once you are untied from the system, the only chance to be above the way of heaven may disappear. Is this really okay? Above the way of heaven? Bullshit way of heaven. Zixiao smiled self-deprecatingly and continued, I came to this world, thinking of living a plain life. It was Master who brought me into this bizarre world. The cultivators fight against heaven and people. I tried hard. You also helped me. What's the result? The process has changed. No, what's the point of having a perfect ending? Do you want me to be the mastermind behind the scenes, devouring the Son of Destiny step by step, and then wait for the next Son of Destiny to come, and I will eat again, and again, and I will eat again, using the world as a furnace to cook all things in the world? I can't do it, and I don't want that kind of life. That sentence is well said. Life is like forcing in. Since you can't refuse, just enjoy it. Hearing Zixiao's words, the system fell into silence. After a long time, a breeze came and gently brushed Zixiao's hair on his forehead, making him look more hazy and immortal, as if he was not a human being. Since the host has made up his mind, this system will no longer persuade him. I wish the host a bright future and a clear path to heaven. The first blessing is not bad, but what does the second blessing mean? He is going to overturn the table and stop playing. What is the heavenly Tao? The countdown for system unbinding begins. 10, 3, 2, 1. System unbinding is successful, and in the last moments, these deserved rewards will be distributed together. Congratulations to the host for getting white silk times 100. Congratulations to the host for getting the master's belly band times 1. Congratulations to the host for getting the love letter of the junior sister times 1. Congratulations to the host for getting the villain's charm aura times 1. Congratulations to the host for getting the transcendent aura times 1. Congratulations. Forget it, I'm too lazy to talk, it's all unbinding. What else can I say? Anyway, this is all the rewards you get. Maybe we will never see each other again, so let's just leave it at that. Your system leaves with a curse. At the same time, keep the attribute panel, keep the system storage space, keep the system rewards, keep the eye of insight, keep the voice prompts, and you can choose to turn on or off. Close, system intelligence disappears, system mall disappears, sign-in reward function disappears, villain shelter function disappears. Listening to the series of mechanical sounds in his mind, Zixiao felt a little reluctant. It's not because of the so-called rewards. Since he has decided to give up, what's the use of those rewards? What he doesn't want is the system itself, the chatterbox who grew up with him. Now that he has decided on the future path, keeping the system is just to let the system be covered in dust. Maybe the system can find another host. What's more, Zixiao, who read countless books in his previous life, knows that the system and the way of heaven are inherently opposite. As long as the system is always bound to him, then this so-called fate is estimated to never escape. Instead, he will be alone from today. If he dies, he will die. At most, he will find a corner to hide. I'm going to hide. You can't just send a protagonist from the sky to kill me, right? Thinking of this, the cheerful mood directly broke through the reluctance to leave. You dog system, I wish you good luck. If you have a chance, kill that Tian Dao. After that, Zixiao turned around and returned to the Holy Sun Hall, and began to pack up his things. He took off the Holy Sun robe on his body and folded it. After all, this Holy Sun robe is a defensive magic weapon, and the sect will not let him take it away. He also took off the bright red storage ring on his hand. In addition to many resources, there was also a Holy Sun order that symbolized his identity. Originally, Zixiao had a system storage space, and he took this ring because it was a gift given to him by his master. Come quietly, just as I leave quietly, waving my sleeves, without taking a cloud away. Zixiao, who was clear in his thoughts, even recited a word. After packing everything up, Zixiao sat on the chair in the center of the Holy Sun Hall, waiting for the call of his master. The last time. This is the last time. This is also the time I choose to flip the table. I don't want to play anymore. Listen, go Tian Dao, you can find whoever you want in the future. I won't be a villain anymore. Enjoy my last performance for you. At the same time, in the main hall of Tianxian, all the elders of the sect were present. There were even hundreds of disciples standing in the hall. Their faces were full of grief and anger. Some female disciples even needed people's support to barely stand. They were more or less injured. The man and woman in the front had a firm look on their faces. Although they were also injured, they did not show any strange color on their faces. Anyone who saw them would say good. These two people were also very familiar to everyone. They were the two youngest disciples of Saint Lord Mo Yuxiang. Chapter 4. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The young man was about the same age, but the young woman was still young. The woman was about 28 years old, with a beautiful face, fair skin, a pair of bright eyes with lively light, and a green dress that made her look more youthful and lively. At this time, her beautiful eyebrows were slightly frowned, sweeping a light worry on her delicate face. It made her already beautiful face even more pitiful. The man was about the same age, with a delicate appearance and a thin figure, but the Resolute light in his eyes and the momentum of standing there as if he was a man standing alone would make anyone take a few more glances. The girl was called Luo Tingxian and the boy was called Lin Yi. They were the two youngest disciples of Tianxian Saint Lord Mo Yuxiang. Just a month ago, a secret realm appeared in the Tianlang territory, which was suspected to be left by a saint. The secret realm has a cultivation limit, and only the younger generation can enter it. I think the saint intends to leave a legacy and find a disciple who can withstand the test. For this reason, all the forces, big and small, sent their own young disciples. Originally, as the son of the Tianxian Holy Land, Zixiao had an obligation to lead a group of young disciples to the secret realm. However, he found a random reason to refuse this matter. In desperation, the Saint Lord Mo Yuxiang had to choose his two young disciples to take the young disciples. After all, young eagles have to go through crises before they can grow up. This trip will take a month. Just yesterday, Lin Yi and Luo Tingxian returned to the sect with many young disciples. Obviously, many disciples went down the mountain for the first time, and the young people should have endless things to say when they returned to the mountain gate, but the disciples guarding the mountain found that the young talents who came back this time were not excited, but lifeless, full of despair, and all of them were injured. The elders who were responsible for protecting them secretly did not come back with them. After hearing the explanation of the disciples of the Holy Lord, the disciples guarding the mountain were shocked and quickly notified the elders. Even the Holy Lord was alarmed. After Mo Yuxiang asked the reason, her face turned pale and she almost fainted. Until today, a sect meeting was held. At this time, there were many cultivators in the hall, but no one spoke, and anyone could feel the heavy atmosphere. There was a chair made of ice crystals at the front of the hall. The person on the chair was the Holy Lord Tianxian, who was also a strong man in the saint realm in the Zhouzhou. In this era when the supreme beings did not appear, the strong men in the saint realm were the strongest in the world. It was no wonder that she could become the Holy Lord at such a young age. Mo Yuxiang's skin is whiter than snow, and her eyes are like a pool of clear water. When she looks around, she has a kind of elegant and noble temperament, which makes people feel ashamed and dare not blaspheme. Her pretty face is covered with a layer of white gauze, making it difficult to see her face. She wears a ruby necklace on her swan-like neck, which is the same material as the ring worn by Zixiao, which makes her collarbone clear. The white jade chain on her ankle makes her skin look more like snow. Moreover, she is not wearing shoes, and she walks barefoot on the smooth ground. Her jade feet are white and tender, not stained with dust, and crystal clear. You can even see the meridians under the snow-like skin. The toes are round and smooth, and look like people want to play with them. Wearing a snow-white dress on her body, she looks like a fairy in the sky who is not in touch with the world. At this time, Mo Yuxiang did not show her face, but anyone could feel how angry and sad she was at this time. The intention of the saints resonates with the great way. Mo Yuxiang's sadness and despair made many elders and disciples feel the same way. At this moment, Luo Tingxian, the direct disciple, stood up. She walked forward, bowed to Mo Yuxiang, and said, "Master, please give justice to the disciples and elder Gong Sun Ming." Luo Tingxuan's voice was as clear and pleasant as an oriole, but her tone was full of anger. Gong Sun Ming was the protector of these disciples. He is now buried in the location of the secret realm, with Luo Tingxian taking the lead. Hundreds of disciples all spoke up. "Holy Lord, please help us." The eldest brother, no, the Holy Son usually relies on his status to bully men and women, disregards the laws of the sect, and often beats and scolds his junior brothers and sisters. Now he even sends people to rob the opportunities of the disciples and others. We refused to obey, and his attendant actually attacked us directly, without any regard for the feelings of fellow disciples. If it weren't for Elder Gong Sun Ming who sacrificed his life to feed Tiger, if one person stays behind to cover the retreat, I'm afraid we won't be able to come back. That's right. The Holy Son even asked his servants to be ruthless and ruined the cultivation of many disciples. Dozens of disciples have been left in the secret realm forever. My Tianxian Holy Land is the holy land of the human race. Such an evil senior brother has appeared. Heaven is unfair. A group of disciples all knelt on the ground and cried about Zixiao's crimes, that made all the elders present feel distressed. This is the foundation of their holy land. The Tianxian Holy Land can always maintain its position as one of the top 10 holy lands because of the endless young heroes. now it's just a small secret realm, but more than half of these people have been killed, and the remaining people have suffered severe damage to their Taoism and body. If they are not punished, then if it is spread out, their Tianxian holy land will become a joke. Who will dare to join it in the future? A mountain master stood up and said loudly, Holy Lord. I know that the Holy Son is your disciple, and you have brought him up since he was a child. But the law is the law, and my holy land can stand here because of the rules. The Holy Son has repeatedly violated the sect rules, but because of his identity and talent, he was left alone, and finally made a big mistake. Please see clearly, Holy Lord, that with the participation of the mountain master, many elders stood up and asked Mo Yuxiang to abolish the Holy Son. The strangest thing is that the mountain master of criminal law, who hates evil like an enemy, did not speak. Not only him, but also the elders in charge of criminal law under his command were silent, but the people of criminal law mountain are only a minority after all, and most of the elders and mountain masters all propose to abolish the Holy Son. This scene is like forcing the palace, with the supreme elder sitting here. These mountain masters are not afraid of Mo Yuxiang blaming them, not to mention that this matter is originally it was the Son of God's sin, they were just speaking out for justice. Looking at this scene in the hall, Mo Yuxiang sat on the ice crystal chair, her delicate body trembling slightly, her cold and indifferent eyes were slightly red. Seeing this scene, Lin Yi, the son of destiny, frowned slightly. He was about to say something, but suddenly paused, sighed, and stood there, and finally did not take any action. Seeing that her master still had no intention of speaking, Luo Tingxian finally couldn't help but speak again. Master, the eldest brother is unforgivable. Please give me, these disciples, and elder Gongsun Ming justice. The reason why Luo Tingxian, who is usually sensible, is so determined to ask for justice is that elder Gongsun Ming loves her the most. With elder Gongsun Ming's cultivation, nothing would happen even if he stayed behind to cover the retreat. However, due to his concern and blame, Luo Tingxian was almost injured by the servants. Gongsun Ming stood in front of her and was directly poisoned. As a result, he could only use 1/10 or 1/12 of his cultivation. Otherwise, how could a master of the Mahayana realm die so easily? Chapter 5. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man was very sad, but he was still alive. On the way back to the sect, Luo Tingxian burst into tears every time she thought of how good elder Gongsun Ming was to her and how kind he looked at her at the end. She was an orphan since she was a child. In this world, apart from Mo Yuxiang, elder Gongsun Ming was her most important relative, but now he is gone. The former senior brother was also a good role model and a good brother, but since the incident a few years ago, Luo Tingxian has cut off contact with the senior brother. Seeing that her most beloved disciple made such a request, Mo Yuxiang could no longer remain silent. A cold voice came from under the white veil. You all say that the Holy Son is guilty. Do you have any evidence? Yes. Report to the Holy Lord. We have it. Several disciples stood up and took out the recording crystal from the storage ring, which was used to record the scene. One of the disciples smashed the recording crystal in his hand. The scene also appeared in everyone's eyes. In the secret realm, hundreds of disciples of Tianxian Holy Land looked serious, as if facing a great enemy. In front of them were dozens of monks in black clothes, each of whom was covered with black cloth, and their faces could not be seen clearly. Because all the forces, big and small, had sent people into this secret realm, it was normal for such a group of people to appear in the mixed situation. At this moment, Luo Tingxian in the picture stood up, and the long sword in her hand pointed directly at the group of people in black. Go back and tell the Holy Son. I won't marry him. Although the Master's order cannot be disobeyed, I will kneel down and beg the Master to take back the order in a few days. Moreover, you have hurt so many fellow disciples. Haven't you ever thought about being punished by the criminal law mountain? He. Senior Sister Luo, it seems that you don't understand the situation. That the leading black-clothed man laughed a classic villain laugh. Do you know which mountain we are disciples of? Moreover, this secret realm cannot be entered by people above the nascent soul stage. As long as these people are killed, who will know that it was us who did it? Of course, as for you, Senior Sister Luo, we will spare your life. Since Senior Brother wants your body, we will follow his orders and dare not hurt you. It's just that after we get out, my master will use a special technique to change your memory. Also, I advise you that senior brother is the Holy Son. And the future Holy Lord, this is the destiny. Only by following the senior brother can you achieve immortality, otherwise, you will be nothing but a pile of yellow earth in 1,000 years. Bullshit. At this time, Lin Yi stood in front of Luo Tingxian, looking angrily at the black-clothed men in front of him. Senior sister is very talented and can achieve immortality without relying on anyone. I don't know why the senior brother has changed so much over the years. But I think it's because of you evil and despicable people that the senior brother has been corrupted by the ink. Senior sister and senior brother are engaged, no one can force her. Want our lives? It depends on whether you are tough enough. After that, a shining golden light suddenly appeared on Lin Ye's body, and his cultivation level directly changed from the early stage of the nascent soul to the peak of the nascent soul, and there was even a faint sign of breaking through the distraction. The pupils of the black-clothed men shrank, and they obviously felt the momentum of Lin Yi. However, they had no intention of retreating. Instead, they took out a porcelain bottle from their arms, poured out a pill, and swallowed it all. Boom boom boom, a series of roars sounded, and dozens of black-clothed men actually broke through to the nascent soul realm, and there were quite a few who were at the peak of the nascent soul. The leading men had a momentum that was not inferior to Lin Yi. Are these bastards going to die? As disciples of the 10 holy places, these people had excellent eyesight. The pills that the black-clothed men took were clearly the blood-raging pills produced by the demon sect. This kind of pill can overdraw a person's lifespan and potential, and in a short period of time, they have a powerful strength that does not belong to them, but the side effects are equally terrible. At the least, the meridians of the whole body are broken, and the cultivation is lost. At the worst, the pill is destroyed and the infant is destroyed. The soul is scattered, and there are restrictions. Only cultivators above the golden core stage can take this medicine. The golden core stage is already the core in small sections. Who would use this kind of medicine to kill the goose that lays the golden eggs? The men in black did not hesitate at all. When the medicine reached its peak, they rushed towards the disciples. The skills that all the men in black were practicing were the Tianxian magic skills. They must be his disciples. Dozens of people in the middle stage of the nascent soul, the cultivators on the mountain attacked at the same time. Even the disciples of Tianxian Holy Land were defeated. Lin Yi and Luo Tingxian tried their best, but they could only stop a few people. The remaining junior brothers and sisters were being slaughtered one-sidedly. Senior sister. You take the people and go first. I will stay behind to cover the retreat. Lin Yi shouted. In this situation, other people must be allowed to leave, otherwise, the face of the main peak will be lost. This time, the secret trial was led by the people of the main peak, who brought a group of new disciples to fight for resources. Once all those young disciples died here, the main peak would really become a joke. Seeing this, Luo Tingxian bit her lower lip and turned her head to look at the brothers and sisters who were being killed. Brother, hold on. I'll take them to a safe place and come back to support you immediately. Don't worry. Sister. I'm fine. Luo Tingxian decisively led the brothers and sisters to rush out. The men in black wanted to surround them all, but Lin Yi seemed to have exploded. Suddenly, he became extremely powerful and blocked the retreat of dozens of men in black with his own strength. Then the scene changed. After arriving outside the secret realm, Elder Gongsun Ming was shocked to see the miserable appearance of the disciples and asked the reason. After hearing that it was the Holy Son who did it, Elder Gongsun Ming said with a serious face, "We can't draw a conclusion at this time. After all, the Holy Son didn't show up, and those people were hiding their faces. Let's go back first and let the Holy Lord decide." Although the disciples were indignant, they knew that this was the only way they could do it now. The group took the flying boat and flew towards the location of Tianxian Holy Land, but halfway, they were ambushed again. The person who came was a cultivator in the Mahayana period. Gongsun Ming saw this scene and went straight to meet him. Both of them were in the Mahayana period, and various means emerged one after another. It was difficult to determine the winner in a short time. after failing to defeat the opponent for a long time, the cultivator turned his eyes and saw the young disciples on the flying boat. Obviously, Gong Sun Ming also noticed his eyes and quickly performed the Tianxian magic. The whole sky was blocked by gold, accompanied by lightning and thunder, and golden spiritual ropes wrapped with lightning formed a large net, but he is also a cultivator in the Mahayana realm. Chapter 6. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The enemy was in a state of panic, but the enemy was in chaos. How could Gong Sun Ming stop a man who was only trying to avoid and not confront his opponent head-on? As a result, the man did not follow the moral code of martial arts. He not only planned to attack the younger generation, but also used extremely vicious skills. Gong Sun Ming had no choice but to bully and fight with him, but this happened to fall into the opponent's trap. He was too concerned and confused. Gong Sun Ming didn't notice at all. When he approached, the opponent turned around and slapped him with a palm. The spiritual power carried by that palm was not the Tianxian magic method at all, but the most insidious and vicious skills in the demon sect. At this moment, the spiritual power in Gong Sun Ming's body became disordered instantly. His nascent soul was stained, his spiritual platform was obscure, and his combat power could not be exerted to 1/10 of his strength. In this situation, Gong Sun Ming used his last strength to wrap the flying boat with spiritual power and shot it into the distance. He stayed and fought against the cultivator. The picture stopped abruptly, because the flying boat had traveled far. The memory crystal could not record the rest of the picture, but it was easy to guess both of them were cultivators in the Mahayana realm. Gong Sun Ming was tricked and could not exert his strength at all. The enemy did everything he could, so how could he spare his life? The hall was silent. Hearing and seeing with one's own eyes are two different things, especially since Gong Sun Ming was a rare good man in the sect, and he had many good relationships. In addition, he was killed by someone's conspiracy, and the high-level officials of Tianxian Holy Land were furious. Holy Lord! Now the evidence is irrefutable. The Holy Sun must be abolished. We must give Elder Gong Sun an explanation. That's right. I knew the Holy Sun's mentality had changed. Now it seems that he has something in mind with that demon. If all of us cultivators are this kind of people, then there will be no heaven and no way. If the Holy Sun is not eliminated, it will not be enough to appease the public anger. Holy Lord, please make a decision when necessary. That the senior leaders roared angrily, and even the disciples in the audience began to discuss loudly. Big Brother has done too many dirty things over the years. The Holy Sun should be both virtuous and talented. If such a person leads our Holy Land in the future, I would rather quit the sect. Let's not talk about what happened to us this time. Even before, the Holy Sun bullied men and women without scruples. Such a person also wants to inherit the Holy Land. Complete the engagement with our senior sister Luo. It's ridiculous. My cultivation is all wasted. I have no influence. If the Holy Lord still doesn't punish the Holy Sun, I am willing to die to let everyone see what kind of person the Holy Sun is. Holy Lord, please make the decision for us. That the scene in the hall is obviously getting out of control. As the head of a sect, Mo Yuxiang can no longer remain silent at this time. Let the Holy Sun come to the main peak. Hearing this, several maids on the side immediately responded and turned to walk out of the hall. The main peak and the sky peak were not far apart. Several maids with high cultivation came to the Holy Sun Hall in just a blink of an eye. At this time, Zixiao was sitting on a chair in the hall, seemingly waiting for someone to arrive. At this time, he had taken off his gorgeous Holy Sun robe and replaced it with a black robe. The black robe gave him a mysterious and charming aura, just like a demon supreme. Several maids were obviously stunned when they saw the Holy Sun like this. The Holy Sun is getting more and more beautiful, but unfortunately, alas, these words could only be repeated in the heart. One of the maids came forward and bowed. Holy Sun, the Holy Lord asked you to go to the main peak. Are you finally here? Zixiao sighed. The Holy Lord asked you to go to the main peak and the Holy Lord invited you to go to the main peak are two completely different concepts. The latter means that there is something to say, and as for the former, it must be a crime. It seems that I haven't seen my master for about a month. Today is the last time to see it, so I have to see more to avoid losing money. Zixiao stood up, put the red storage ring on the table into his arms, and then walked out of the hall. What is coming will come. It just so happens that after today, the sky will be high and the birds will fly freely. Jindan stage cultivators can fly with swords, and Yuanying stage cultivators can already fly in the air, not to mention Zixiao, who is in the spirit severing stage. He waved his sleeves, and a breeze lifted him up, flying towards the main peak at a high speed. Seeing this, several maids immediately followed, looking at Zixiao's back, and a trace of confusion flashed in their eyes. Zixiao was busy packing up his things, but he forgot that when the system was uninstalled, in addition to those improper rewards, it gave him 2 halos. These 2 halos made him look like a charmer. Soon, Zixiao came to the door of the main peak hall. Before he entered the door, he could hear the noisy sound inside. On weekdays, the place where the Holy Lord was, would raise an isolation formation. All sounds would not be heard. Today it was like a vegetable market. Needless to say, Mo Yuxiang, as the Holy Lord, was confused at this time, and even the isolation formation was not raised. With a relaxed look, Zixiao walked into the hall. Ta-ta-ta. The people who were still arguing fell silent after hearing the footsteps. Zixiao, dressed in black, soon appeared in everyone's sight. Although many young disciples had heard of the evil deeds of the Holy Sun, it was the first time they saw the Holy Sun in person. Is this person who is like a banished immortal the Holy Sun who secretly harmed them? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Some of the female disciples were shaken at the time. Their views were influenced by their appearance. No matter which world they were in, the mountain master and elders of the criminal law mountain also had a hint of surprise in their eyes. I haven't seen this kid for a while. How come his temperament has changed so much, not only in his cultivation? Alas! I'm afraid the Holy Sun will not be able to escape this time. We want to help, but we have no evidence. Why is this so? Many things before were not done by the Holy Sun, but all the accusations were directed at him. Now this kind of thing has happened. It's like a big hand is covering the Holy Sun. If things get to a point where they can't be helped, we must lend a hand. Let's see what happens. Most of the other mountain masters and elders were completely different from the people of the criminal law mountain. Their eyes were filled with envy, jealousy, resentment, viciousness, and disappointment, with all kinds of emotions mixed in. A breeze blew in the hall, and Zixiao's hair was slightly lifted, adding a bit of charm to him. Seeing her own disciple appear, Mo Yuxiang's beautiful eyes were also in a trance. She seemed to see the little child who followed her and kept calling her master. That feeling melted her frozen heart. It was also because of this that she ignored Zixiao's cruelty and evilness for so many years. Chapter 7. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man was so angry, but he was still very angry. Shower, your master can't protect you after all. Why did you become like this? It's all your fault. It's your fault. I didn't care about you enough, so you went astray. Mo Yuxiang kept blaming herself in her heart, thinking that it was her dereliction of duty that led Zixiao to become the person that everyone wanted to beat. Meet Master. Zixiao walked up to the hall and spoke in that magnetic voice. Not to mention fear, there was not even a trace of guilt in her words, and there was even a hint of smile. This made many young disciples explode. The female disciples thought that as long as the Holy Sun admitted his mistakes, they would be done with it. But what they faced was such an arrogant Holy Sun. Amitba can tolerate it, but Wuliang Tianzuan can't. At this time, the Supreme Elder who had been beside Mo Yuxiang spoke up. Holy Sun, do you know your sin? If the entire Tianxian Holy Land is ruled by the Holy Lord, then the position of the Supreme Elder is to monitor the Holy Lord. This Supreme Elder is the previous leader of the Tianxian Holy Land. His own strength has broken through the saint and entered the realm of the Saint's Peak. It is also a separate realm under the Supreme, the Saint King realm. Before this, the Supreme Elder let those people in the hall make noise at will, and had no intention of paying attention. Now seeing Zixiao coming, he finally spoke up. The deafening voice resounded throughout the hall like thunder. Crack, 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 the ground beneath Zixiao's feet cracked like a spider web, and his waist bent slightly. The pressure of the Saint King realm is not something that a person in the spiritual stage can resist. The spiritual power in the body is obscure and solidified, and the spiritual platform is even covered with a shadow, but Zixiao just adapted a little, and with a roar of bones, he straightened his waist. This scene made the eyes of the Supreme Elder have a hint of appreciation. Mo Yuxiang is the successor he chose, and Zixiao is the successor chosen by Mo Yuxiang. To a certain extent, Zixiao is his disciple. How could he deliberately embarrass him? The reason why he did this in the hall in front of everyone was to give everyone an explanation. Picking it up high and putting it down gently, Zixiao confessed his guilt, and he, as the Supreme Elder, personally said that he would be imprisoned for 3 years, and the matter was over. Imagination is beautiful, but reality is very skinny. Zixiao raised his head, his deep eyes were like a deep pool, making it hard to understand what he was thinking. Report to the Supreme Elder, I do not plead guilty. What? This made the Supreme Elder, and even the other people in the hall dumbfounded. Now the evidence is irrefutable, and all the evidence points to him, the Holy Son. Even if there was no trial, the Holy Son had done too many things that angered the heavens and the people. If he did not even admit his guilt, how could he give an explanation to these young disciples? I do not plead guilty. As if afraid that the Supreme Elder did not hear, Zixiao repeated his words again. Ha! You are worthy of being the eldest senior brother. Luo Tingxian sneered at Zixiao. The latter also looked over, and that familiar face seemed to be his follower a few years ago. Zixiao also loved this girl very much, but she didn't expect that after only a few years, the respect, love, and shyness in the other's beautiful eyes all disappeared, replaced by an unmelting coldness. However, Zixiao didn't blame her for this. Heaven is unkind and treats all things as straw dogs. When heaven takes action, how many cultivators as ants can resist? Moreover, even if Zixiao is evil and heinous, this little sister has come to Tianqiong Peak, knelt in the hall, and begged Zixiao to turn over a new leaf. So Zixiao won't play any routine of cold-hearted revenge, he just wants to stay away from it all. Lin Yi, the son of destiny, also looked at Zixiao with complicated eyes at this time. When he entered the mountain gate, Lin Yi had just lost his family and was like a lone wolf. It was also the care of this senior brother that gradually restored his humanity, but she didn't expect it to become what it is now. Zixiao. Mo Yuxiang's ethereal and quiet voice sounded. Hearing this voice, Zixiao turned around and looked at his master. Although he was wearing a veil, he seemed to see the disappointed expression on his master's face. Master, I don't admit my guilt, and I don't know what crime I have committed. Zixiao's voice was gentle and calm, without any emotion. Son of God. You still don't admit your guilt. One of the hot-tempered mountain masters stood up and threw several memory crystals in his hand. In addition to the secret realm, there are also various crimes committed by the Son of God on weekdays, which were collected spontaneously by these disciples from the sect. Zixiao took the memory crystals and opened them one by one. It doesn't matter if you don't look at it, but when you look at it, even he is shocked. Damn it, when did I commit so many crimes? And what they said was true. If it weren't for the fact that the way of heaven was at work, Zixiao himself would think that he was an unforgivable devil. Seeing Zixiao's mood fluctuate, the mountain master continued to sneer. What do you think? Now that the evidence is irrefutable, do you still want to quibble? Zixiao read the memory crystals one by one, then raised his head and looked directly at the mountain master, and said softly, well, I have read them all, but I want to ask one thing, whether I plead guilty or not, is it your business? What? The mountain master never dreamed that Zixiao would dare to be so arrogant. When he was choosing the Son of God, he had always wanted to make his apprentice the Son of God, but Mo Yuxiang inexplicably found Zixiao from the mortal world and carefully cultivated him until he got the position of the Son of God. He already had a grudge, and wanted to step on Zixiao at this time, but he didn't expect that the other party didn't respect his identity as the mountain master at all. Zixiao. You want to die? You are so disrespectful to this mountain master. You are the one who wants to die. Facing the angry mountain master, Zixiao curled his lips in disdain, not buying it at all. Now things haven't been made clear, my master hasn't spoken, and my master hasn't spoken. but you just stand up and ask me if I plead guilty. The position of the Holy Son is second only to the Holy Lord. This is the rule of our Tianxian Holy Land. I, the Holy Son, have not been stripped down yet, which means that I am still the Holy Son now, so forgive me for being blunt. Who the hell are you, actually questioning this Holy Son? Boom! As Zixiao said the last word, his whole aura changed, Transcendence aura activated, buzz, mysterious and mysterious, the breath of the Gate of Wonders rushed out of Zixiao's body, golden lotuses appeared under Zixiao's feet. The sky was covered by dark clouds. There were golden cracks in the dark clouds. Unspeakable words came out from the cracks, like thunder, roar, whisper. Zixiao's hair moved without wind, and his black robe was puffed up. He was shrouded in a mysterious aura, making him look ethereal and detached. Chapter 8. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time, Zixiao's eyes also changed. In the white of his eyes, there were two black eyeballs, one large and one small, ancient double pupils. Those with double pupils are the supreme of heaven and earth. They are born with the qualifications of a great emperor and can break all laws with one glance. After the double pupils appeared, the whole sky changed again, and the dark clouds were completely dispersed by the golden light. One after another, golden figures appeared above the clouds. These golden figures bowed with both hands and worshipped towards the location of the main hall. At the highest point, there was an even larger figure. That figure seemed to stand in the universe, and this world could not bear him at all. It was like a king looking down on all living beings. The tall figure lowered his head slightly, and two golden rays of light shot out from his eyes. Swish, the light broke through the limitations of space and time, and the golden worshipper turned into nothingness in the moment of contact with the golden light. Then, the golden light fell on Zixiao, and a mysterious halo flowed in the ancient double pupils. Boy, you! The mountain master took a step back, and he actually felt fear and submission in his heart. This feeling made him, as a mountain master, lose face. Thinking of this, the mountain master was angry and humiliated, and a powerful aura emanated from his body, as if he wanted to take action, but a white spiritual power directly blocked his whole body's spiritual power, and the powerful aura dissipated immediately. It was the Supreme Elder who took action. At this time, the Supreme Elder looked at Zixiao under the stage, his eyes full of amazement. There are many geniuses, but evildoers are rare. Ancient double pupils. When did this kid awaken such a physique? The Supreme Elder wondered. Little did he know that Mo Yuxiang, the master, also had a trace of confusion in her beautiful eyes. You know, Zixiao became the Holy Son not because of his double pupils, but because of his comprehension and amazing talent. No matter what kind of secret method it is, if it is given to Zixiao, it is guaranteed that he will be able to master it within 3 days, and even achieve great success in a short time. His cultivation is also far ahead of many young disciples. If there is another blessing of double pupils, it will be simply against the sky. At the same time, many elders and mountain masters on the stage also began to discuss. Isn't the Holy Son hiding too deeply? Double pupils. And what's with that terrifying aura? I feel that double pupils are not his full strength. The sound of the great way, the saints worshipping, the kingship of the world, and the mysterious aura of transcendence and etherealness, this kid is going to defy the heavens. This, if the Holy Son is abolished. Is there any rising star in the Holy Land who can take on this important task? I'm afraid it won't work. Besides, those men in black may have nothing to do with the Holy Son, they just used the Tianxian magic. What if someone deliberately framed the Holy Son? That's right. I think that's the case. Someone doesn't they wanted our Tianxian Holy Land to completely surpass the 9 states and 10 lands, so they sent people to frame him. The Holy Son suffered. You are simply lying with your eyes open. It is true that the Tianxian magic method is our basic practice, but what about the Hunyuan Wuji Gong? That is something that only the Holy Lord and the Holy Son can practice. Hunyuan Wuji Gong. What you said is interesting. Those black-clothed men do have the aura of chaos, but the chaos practice is not only Hunyuan Wuji Gong. Okay, stop arguing. Let's see what the Holy Lord says. The mountain masters and elders were arguing fiercely. When Zixiao did not appear, they all claimed to abolish the Holy Sun. Now that Zixiao has shown amazing talent, they began to find reasons to help him get away with it. In fact, this is normal. The law of the jungle is the same in the world of cultivation. Seeing that the Holy Sun of Zhongqing appeared in the Holy Land, how could they allow the other party to be abolished? Luo Tingxian in the hall looked a little pale, and even her body trembled slightly. She never thought that her senior brother had such a terrifying talent. Of course, before this, although she knew that her senior brother was a monster, her double pupils and the transcendent aura like a banished immortal had never been revealed. Those high-level officials have begun to turn against the Holy Sun because of this heaven-defying saint. Did Elder Gong Sun Ming die in vain? And with the current personality of the senior brother, such a terrifying talent will only make him more unscrupulous. The engagement, Luo Tingxian has already that he was in despair. The mountain master had his spiritual power sealed by the Grand Elder. Facing Zixiao's terrifying aura, he retreated directly, and then blood spurted out of his mouth. He looked listless. Seeing this, Zixiao retracted his aura, and his pupils returned to normal, but his face still had a disdainful look. What the hell, come to us and bark wildly, just looking for death. You brat. You are just. Okay, stop talking. The Grand Elder said lightly, but he stopped the mountain master when he started to speak. It was obvious that he was biased towards Zixiao, and everyone present saw it. The mountain master looked at the Grand Elder with an unbelievable expression. Grand Elder, you. Boom. The powerful aura directly suppressed the mountain master to the point of being unable to breathe. The Grand Elder narrowed his eyes and said, I said shut up, can't you hear me? Yes. The mountain master gritted his teeth, retreated to the back, and lowered his head. No one could see his resentful expression. Since ancient times, the position of the Grand Elder in Tianxian Holy Land has been used to suppress the contemporary Holy Lord. What happened now? The Grand Elder's apprentice is the Holy Lord, and the Holy Lord's apprentice is the Holy Sun. It's simply ridiculous. Tianxian Holy Land has become their one-man show. The mountain masters and elders in the hall certainly saw the Grand Elder's partiality, but they had no major grudges with the Holy Sun, and the Holy Sun showed a terrifying talent, so he was partial. Anyway, it was for the good of the Holy Land. Those young disciples also heard the discussion of the senior leaders just now, and their faces were all a little pale. Do their lives not count? Listening to what these high-level officials said, it was clear that they wanted to forgive the Holy Sun. Once the Holy Sun was forgiven, what would happen to those who came to complain? Everyone knew the Holy Sun's revengeful character. Didn't this incident offend the Holy Sun to death? Thinking of this, the faces of the young disciples were full of despair, and some even had the intention to die. Seeing the pale faces of these junior brothers and sisters, Lin Yi gritted his teeth and stood up again. Master, Supreme Elder, and all the mountain masters, elders, disciple Lin Yi, hope that this incident can punish the Holy Sun. And the Holy Sun must promise not to retaliate afterwards. After these words came out, the high-level officials didn't say anything, but Zixiao was stunned for a moment, turned his head and looked at Lin Yi. Chapter 9. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two of them looked at each other, and Zixiao saw many complex emotions in Lin Yi's eyes, including self-blame, guilt, and anger. He is indeed the son of destiny. That look is like a fan-shaped statistical table. Lin Yi. Looking at Lin Yi's resolute expression, many elders and mountain masters showed admiration. Before, they saw Lin Yi's talent in the memory crystal. At such a young age, he could actually fight against so many black-clothed men above the middle stage of the Yuanyin. Even in times of crisis, he wanted to protect his fellow disciples and stayed behind to cover the rear. He is a rare outstanding talent, and he is also a smart person. At this time, anyone can see that most of the seniors in the sect do not want to abolish the Holy Sun. Instead of continuing to entangle, it is better to strive for a safe guarantee for these junior brothers and sisters. He is a good child. The Supreme Elder also looked at Lin Yi with satisfaction. If he had not become the Supreme Elder, he might have accepted this good seedling as his disciple. But think about it, this is his disciple's disciple. He should always be called the Grand Master, right? That's a family. It must be said that Yu Xiang has a good vision. The disciples he accepted all have extremely high talents and rare and precious qualities. Only Zi Shao, in terms of character, he has talent, in terms of being a person, he has talent, and in terms of friendliness, he still has talent. In the cultivation world, talent is not the only thing, but it is definitely the most necessary thing to get a glimpse of the immortal fate. Wait a minute. I don't agree. Just when the Supreme Elders were about to punish the Holy Son with confinement, shouts came from outside the door, and then, thousands of disciples entered the main hall. These disciples are the core disciples of Tianxian Holy Land. The few people in the front are the sequence of Tianxian Holy Land, that is, the candidates for the Holy Son and the Holy Daughter. Each of them has amazing talents, but they are only a little bit worse than the contemporary Holy Son and the Holy Daughter. Now that the sequence disciples have appeared with a group of core disciples, things have changed again. After those disciples came in, they saluted Mo Yuxiang and the Supreme Elders, and then all looked at Zixiao not far away with resentful eyes. Holy Lord and all the elders, this time the disciples have the audacity to come here to report the Holy Son for trespassing into the main hall. After we finish speaking, we will consciously go to the criminal law mountain to receive the punishment. All these senior officials were dumbfounded. What on earth did the Holy Son commit that angered the heavens and the people, causing so many disciples to come out and report him? Some even said that he would go to the criminal law mountain to be punished. Breaking into the main hall is not a small crime. The lighter ones have to accept the burning of spiritual fire for 49 days, and the heavier ones have to use heavenly thunder to refine their souls. The pain is simply unbearable. Little did he know that Zi Shao was secretly looking at his master's small and crystal jade feet. His mind was wandering in the void, and the entertainment culture of his previous life was displayed one after another. The Supreme Elder was a little annoyed that someone was disrupting the situation, but he had no choice but to not offend the public anger, especially since so many core disciples and sequence disciples appeared here. If they were forced to shut up, they would inevitably feel resentful of the sect. Tianxian Holy Land is among the top 10 holy lands. Even if it is not at the bottom now, it is definitely not a high ranking. It is absolutely not allowed to have a lack of successors. What's more, a large part of these young disciples have complicated backgrounds. If they are not careful, the Holy Land will fall into civil strife. Thinking of this, the Grand Elder looked at Zixiao with some criticism, but found that he didn't care about these things at all. It seemed that there was an unspeakable evil in his eyes. What is this kid thinking? Ahem. You are all the hope of the future of the sect. I will forgive you for breaking into the main hall on behalf of the Holy Lord. Just say whatever you want to say. The Grand Elder didn't want to keep talking, but his own apprentice, the Holy Lord of Tianxian Holy Land, Mo Yuxiang, was full of disappointment and heartache in his beautiful eyes at this time, and he didn't mean to speak at all. He could only let this old guy take his place. After hearing the words of the Grand Elder, all the disciples breathed a sigh of relief. Although they did not hesitate to unite and break into the main hall in order to fight against the Holy Son, it would be great if they could avoid punishment. Holy Lord, all mountain masters, elders, and supreme elders, there is only one reason why the disciples broke into the main hall, that is, the Holy Son is not worthy of his position. We all know about this incident. For those resources, the Holy Son attacked his fellow disciples and even killed an elder. It is simply unforgivable. And, the Holy Son is like this on weekdays. We disciples are all victims. We live in fear under the tyranny of the Holy Son every day. If this continues, I am afraid that our Taoism will collapse and we will not be able to prove the Tao. That's right, Holy Lord, the Holy Son is really too much. He actually wants to use me as a furnace. Although I lost in the battle for the position of the female leader, I never gave up the pursuit of the way. However, the subordinates of the Holy Son said that if I didn't agree, they would cripple me. I just got a mysterious skill last time, but before I had time to look at it carefully, it was snatched away by the people of the Holy Son, and my legs were broken. My mother is an elder of the outer sect, but the Holy Son actually wants us mother and daughter to serve him together, and only gives us half a month to consider, otherwise our family will be destroyed. My father argued with the followers of the Holy Son and was directly planned to be Jin Dan. My mother couldn't bear the humiliation and cut herself off from home. For a while, the crowd was indignant, and the senior officials were also stunned. After Lin Yi and Luo Tingshuan's complaints before, they already thought that the Holy Sun was outrageous, but there were even more outrageous things. What the Holy Sun did was simply wrathful to heaven and people, and many senior officials looked at the girl whose family was destroyed, and then looked at the Holy Sun, with a hint of weirdness in their eyes. With the Saint Sun's looks and temperament, it's easy to find someone to warm the bed. I heard that in the sect, the female disciples have established a group of lovers for the Saint Sun. Just beckoning your finger, wouldn't there be a lot of beauties coming in to warm the bed? Do you have to play this tune? Is this what secular people often say? A wife is not as good as a concubine, a wife is not as good as a secret lover, and a secret lover is not as good as not being able to steal. The Saint Sun is playing too much. Hearing the complaints of these disciples, Mo Yuxiang, who was sitting on the ice crystal chair, had cold and indifferent eyes, and a cold breath emanated from her body. The cultivators in the entire hall felt the chill. This was not the physical chill, but the soul seemed to be covered with a layer of frost. The biting chill made the cultivators a little overwhelmed. Luo Tingxian looked at Zixiao with smoke in her eyes. She didn't expect that this senior brother was simply a beast in human clothing. Chapter 10. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The more people came forward to complain, the more things went wrong. More and more people came forward to complain, and the situation was gradually getting out of control. Finally, Mo Yuxiang spoke. Son, is what they said true, that there was no emotion in the cold voice, but only Zixiao, who knew his master, understood that it seemed that this woman was furious at this time. Otherwise, how could she call him son instead of his name? She walked forward helplessly and said loudly, Yes, master, what they said is true. What? Zixiao's words stunned the people in the hall. You admit it now? Shouldn't you quibble? After you quibbled, they produced evidence and you confronted them. In the end, you were so angry that you tried to forcefully attack, but were subdued by the Holy Lord. This is how the process should be. How could he admit it so calmly? Just as the people in the hall were lost in thought, the first sequence disciple who entered the main hall spoke up. The Holy Sun is really worthy of being the Holy Sun. At this time, you still thought that the sect would not punish you, so you admitted it without any scruples, right? Looking at the sequence disciple, Zixiao said lightly, If you say it is, then it is. Isn't this what you want to hear? I admit it. He. The sequence disciple sneered. He was the disciple of the previous mountain master. His name was Yuan Tianji. He was born with the 5 elements divine body. When such a physique is cultivated to the 5 elements, he can also be proud of the world. When the position of the Holy Sun was vacant, he was the most likely to get this position. Unexpectedly, Zixiao suddenly emerged and killed him halfway. Speaking of resentment, he resented Zixiao very much. The other party not only took away his position as the Holy Sun, but also his white moonlight. That is Luo Tingxian. Luo Tingxian was one of the last 2 disciples accepted by the Holy Lord. As soon as she entered the sect, Yuan Tianji fell in love with this innocent girl, but the good times didn't last long. Luo Tingxian actually got engaged to Zixiao, the position of the Holy Sun, the hatred of taking away his wife. It made Yuan Tianji's whole person twisted. Not only that, Zixiao often sent his subordinates to mock him and rob his resources. It would be strange if he didn't hate him. Zixiao's reckless look really made everyone angry. They already wanted to save the Holy Sun, but he actually had this attitude. In the future, wouldn't these peers have to live under his shadow? Mo Yuxiang ignored everyone's emotions, looked directly at her most beloved disciple with her beautiful eyes, and spoke again. Do you have the heart to admit your mistakes? Yes. Hearing Zixiao's words of admitting his mistakes, Mo Yuxiang's expression eased a little, but then, Zixiao's next words made her want to slap this evil disciple to death. Zixiao's mouth corners rose, revealing a frivolous smile, coupled with his appearance like a banished immortal. It made the hearts of all the female disciples beat faster. I was wrong. I was wrong for not killing them directly, which gave them the opportunity to complain. TSK, TSK, TSK. How arrogant you are. How dare you do that? Holy Son, do you understand what you are saying? Abolish the Holy Son, you must abolish him. What's the difference between the Holy Son and the people of the demon sect? The dignified Tianxian Holy Land actually has such a Holy Son. It's simply a shame for the Holy Land. Mo Yuxiang's beautiful eyes widened. She didn't expect Zixiao to say such a thing. The whole person's magnificent place kept rising and falling. This made Zixiao tremble with fear. This. How heavy is this? Zixiao. Boom. A large area of icy meaning spread out from Mo Yuxiang's delicate body. In a blink of an eye, the young disciples and elders in the front instantly turned into ice sculptures. Fortunately, the Grand Elder immediately stood up at the critical moment, and the gentle spiritual power spread throughout the hall, gradually dissipating the icy intention. Otherwise, if the saint got angry, how many people in the hall would be able to survive? Just as the Grand Elder was busy saving everyone, Zixiao took 2 steps forward, staring at Mo Yuxiang with his inky eyes, and slowly said, "Master, since I admit my crime, should I be punished? Break bones and cramps? Take my soul out to light a sky lantern? Or let my elixir shatter and my infant die? Or, expel me from the sect? Don't you admit your mistake yet?" Mo Yuxiang, the cold fairy, finally showed some emotional fluctuations, and her beautiful eyes, red, and a hoarse voice. "No, I made a mistake." Zixiao shook his head. He had been smiling evilly before, but now he looked a little melancholy. This feeling made Mo Yuxiang, Luo Tingxian, Lin Yi and other people who knew him feel a little strange, as if Zixiao did not belong to this world. This feeling was inexplicable, but extremely real. "I should have understood from the beginning that this damn bastard fate, no matter how you run, you can't escape." Zixiao's tone was full of despair and negativity, and his temperament was even more decadent. Mo Yuxiang saw his appearance, and his heart was as painful as a needle. Could it be that his disciple had something to hide? In recent years, Mo Yuxiang noticed the changes in his disciple, so she deliberately ignored him, causing her to look at her disciple more and more strangely. No. No. This is not a reason for him to do bad things. Thinking of the crimes Zixiao had committed, Mo Yuxiang became firm. "Since you admit your mistakes, from today on, your position as the Son of God will be abolished, and you will be sentenced to the Refining Heart Tower for 3 years. But before that, you must give a perfect explanation to those who have been persecuted. If they can forgive you, you will be punished 1 day less, but if one person does not forgive you, then 10 more days will be added." As soon as these words came out, there was silence in the hall. Abolition of the position of the Son of God is already the greatest punishment, and then you have to go to the Refining Heart Tower for 3 years. That is not a place where people can go. It is also known as the most terrifying criminal law in the criminal law mountain. Most people can't stand staying in there for 3 or 5 hours. If you stay in there for 3 years, won't you be refined? And if one person disagrees, 1 day will be added, which is simply terrifying. Yuan Tianji was very happy with this result, but it was not enough. With Zixiao's amazing talent, who knows if he will soar to the sky after 3 years? If he retaliates again, he will be the one who is worried. Thinking of this, Yuan Tianji spoke again. "Saint Lord is wise, but I still have a favor to ask. Since this saint's son, no, Zixiao has been abolished as saint's son, should his cultivation be abolished to prevent him from retaliating against these junior brothers and sisters in the future?" "No." At this moment, Lin Yi stood up and looked at Yuan Tianji with anger.